Grid is not a sales pitch or a guru platform. We're simply here to learn from each other and grow together. It's built for serious operators who want to close deals, build wealth, and level up their network. My name is Paul Kelton. I've done over 100 transactions since 2020. Charleston-based investment sales specialist. I'm also the founder of Tide Property Management. We manage over $60 million of real estate here in Charleston. I've done single family, multifamily, fix and flips, buy and holds, and other asset classes as well. What to expect is each month we bring in real people who are doing real deals right here in Charleston. We'll run a live interview, then we'll open it up for question and answers, and then we'll shift to networking downstairs, because honestly, that's where the real value is. Our mission is to connect, learn from, and collaborate with like-minded people interested in building wealth and creating an impact through real estate. And this is your Grid Charleston team. So we have Elliot Sperling, who is downstairs. He welcomed you guys when you came in. You've probably seen Mads. She sent out a lot of communications for us, and Miggy has helped with our marketing. So let's do a quick word from our sponsors if we have them in the room.
I'm the business development lead at Coastal Equity Group. We are a direct hard money lender working with investors in the residential space. We do single family, multifamily properties. We do fix and flips, ground construction, long-term, short-term rentals, cash out refis, a bridge, basically a one-stop shop in the residential space. We have programs available for entry-level investors. If this is your first project looking for a loan, as well as people who have done this for a career and if they're looking for their 20th, 50th, or 100th transaction. We are extremely aggressive and competitive in the marketplace, and we love working with inexperienced and experienced investors alike. So if you need money, we can help you out.
Awesome. Thank you, Wyatt. So we've also got Matt O'Neill Real Estate, Tide Property Management, Mitchum Law Firm, Sweetgrass Capital. Cole is heading out. He's going to go get our food for this evening. And then Refresher Nest, Shannon Hawkins. These guys have made this event free and will continue to make it free. So please thank them if you can after the event while we're networking today. So today, we're focused on how to find deals in Charleston. I was racking my brain over the right person to do for this and came across Doug. Doug has been in real estate for over 20 years. He's someone who is heavily present in the area. He's done business in real estate from every angle: mortgage, insurance, brokerage, investing, you name it, Doug's done it. He's done deals as small as $4,000 lot to as big as $1 billion transaction with the United Nations. And last year he bought and sold over 50 properties. And today he's all in on, he told me, restaurants and real estate. Sorry to steal your thunder, Doug. So please help me in welcoming Doug Hickerson to the front of the room. All right, Doug, let's get into it. So I'm going to keep it brief today with me, and then I'm going to open it up to the audience for questions. So let's start at the beginning. Why real estate? What pulled you into this side?
Honestly, I bought a couple properties when I was a caddy out at the Ocean Course. So in between my grad studies, I went to work at the Ocean Course for a summer. That's it. I wasn't going to stay in Charleston. I was in between my MBA and a master's in international finance, and I was leaving to go travel the world. Bought a couple properties while I was out there. Just decided to stay in Charleston because it sucked me in, like we were talking about earlier, and that's it. Real estate seemed like the best avenue because I had already been in it.
What did those first properties look like?
I bought a townhouse outside of Shadow Moss in Old Town Villas. I think it was $78,000, maybe $68,000.
Yeah.
Sold it for $132,000, maybe like 2.5 years later. And then I moved to Wagner Terrace and started buying and renovating and selling down there.
Yeah, Wagner Terrace downtown.
Mm-hmm.
Walk us through the timeline when you, so what year is this when you started?
1997, so it would have been 2000 when I bought my first property. Mm-hmm. Yeah. I'm the second oldest, maybe third oldest. Yeah.
Thanks, appreciate that.
I took a look over there. Yeah.
Man, that's awesome. So walk us through the timeline from there. You buy 2 properties, you decide real estate's for me. What do you do?
Well, the first thing I did actually was I went to my mortgage guy. He owned Equus Mortgage, and I said, what if I left golf? Because I had been in golf for 10 years. Could I sell mortgages? Like, could I get involved in that? And he said, absolutely. He's like, this desk is yours, come do it. So I took about 3 or 4 more months at the Ocean Course, then I cut the ties there and went into the mortgage industry. And I told the guy who owned the mortgage company at the time, if this works out, I'm gonna leave. Like, I'm gonna leave after 2 years and open my own place. Because I wanted him to know that I was serious about it, but not to rely on me being there for 10 years. Mm-hmm. And I did. 2 years and 1 day later, I went and opened my own mortgage company.
And then what happened? So were you buying rentals along the way? Or
no, I hadn't really gotten into that part yet.
Gotcha.
I opened the mortgage company out of my living room in my processor, and I was doing 35 to 40 a month just on my volume. But it was very busy. You know, it was like 04 to 07, which again, only a couple of us here remember. It was extremely busy until the recession hit. So yeah. It was a high time for real estate. And again, it is in the last few years too.
Yeah. So what was that like for you going through the recession?
Well, I had gotten into developing and everything else, so it hit
so there was
just
a time
as hard
between you starting your mortgage company and then getting into developing through the...
Sure, yeah.
Okay.
I took advantage of the opportunity because where there's turmoil, there's opportunity. So when the market started to go down, there were a lot of mortgage companies that went out of business, and I bought them. I bought them for pennies on the dollar, and we ended up with like 7 different locations and 120 LOs, you know, from one location and 10 LOs in Mount Pleasant. So it was a fun little ride.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So then what was next after the mortgage company?
So as the mortgage industry started to really deplete, I mean, I think there was something like 60,000 loan officers in 2006, and it dropped to like 8,000 by 2008 or whatever because of that dip. I went to continue the financial part. I opened up First Capital Financial, First Capital Partners, First Capital Insurance, and went to go start a bank at First Capital, to call it First Capital Bank, which didn't ultimately work out. But the insurance company did well. It still exists. I sold it in 2015. And I sold the mortgage company in 2014, maybe, right before that, yeah.
So 2015 comes, you sell your company, and then you go full-time into real estate investing?
No, I mean, I was investing the whole time, to answer your question.
Yeah.
But there were 2 sell-offs in there. One was after the recession. The second came in a multifamily sell-off around like 2014-ish. I didn't get into flipping as much as I am now until the last 5 years.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So tell us about that. So you got into flipping. Why did you, so there's a bunch of different avenues that you can do with real estate, right?
Sure.
There's commercial, apartments, wholesaling, what have you. There's a bunch of different ways. Why did you choose flipping?
I was talked into it.
Yeah?
I was hanging out with a buddy of mine, and he knew the construction side, and my Rolodex was good for acquisitions and capital, and we combined.
Yeah.
And he became the boots on the ground, and I was the hands on the desk.
That's that dynamic duo. Y'all remember last month with Sean and Matt, they're the dynamic duo with someone who's running numbers and being the hands on the desk, and someone who's being out there in the field. It's that partnership is really powerful.
Yeah.
It's a theme that I keep seeing over and over again.
Yeah. It was, I mean, we turned maybe 4 properties the first year, and then 8, and then 28, and then 50, and that's kind of where we're stuck right now.
Man. Mm-hmm. How do you 50 deals a year? That's crazy. I mean, that's a machine is what it is.
Yeah, and that's the like big question for everybody that when they ask me, and I know that's like you guys' question too, because it's on the list that we were talking about and going through it. I don't have a marketing team. I don't have a marketing plan. Like, I wish I could lay down this structure that would help you grow that part of it. But the reality is that I've just answered my phone for 20 years. That's it. Like, I have stuck to what I told people I would do, put my reputation before making money, and the phone still rings, and it rings a lot.
Yeah, that's great. I think that there's a powerful message in there for people to see, because at least I'm guilty of it. I see on like social media and stuff. It's like you'll have these like robust, glitzy, things that they do in real estate with marketing and stuff. But you're just saying, I just pick up my phone.
Yeah, I mean, the
I've
other
just been
works as well.
consistent.
Yeah, it does. And it may happen a little faster. But with this, there's a lot more loyalty, right? There's a lot more of people that I can trust that are bringing me deals, and they know that if I tell them I'm going to buy it, I'll buy it.
Yeah.
Like, there has not been, I mean, I would say less than like, I don't even know what the number would be. Most certainly less than 1% of all the deals that I've said I would buy that I didn't. And it would have been because something happened with the seller, not with my side. That's an extremely valuable item. Like, as you go to kind of become an investor or deal with whatever, I see so much BS. I see so much retrading and like, just going around and around on deals and structure and everything else. You call me with a deal, I'll tell you if I can do it within a few minutes, and I'll do it.
So your strategy is to come in and you're not trying to retrade. You're not trying to do any other strategy other than I'm coming in with the numbers that I know I can make work, and this is the timeline I can get it done.
Correct.
And that's the strategy, and you just have consistently done that over and over again.
Yes, and I tell people a lot, and they don't really believe me until they start working with me. I usually don't go back on my number a lot too. Like, if I give you, I don't know, 640 grand, like, that's my number.
Yeah.
So you call me back with 680 and I'll tell you 640 again.
Yeah. You mentioned that you've raised capital to buy some of your deals. So walk us through what those types of relationships look like with your capital partners.
Yeah. Again, it goes back to like timing. It takes longer. It does, to build a legitimate, proper business where you can rely on the group of people that are with you. And those same capital investors, those same partners are still with me. And it's not necessarily just like buddies or whatever. It might be somebody like Coastal that's just a really good equity partner, really good capital partner that sticks with you, through things that you need.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I think it's important to grow those relationships over time, not just like as quick as possible.
Are you wine and dining these people? Are you like doing any fancy presentations? What's your strategy on that side? Is it the same? Is it just being consistent and providing returns to them and just over time?
Yeah, you can wine and dine. Absolutely, it works. I mean, it's part of it. I've been your age before where being involved in events like this and everything most certainly helps grow your business. But the best thing you could possibly do with investor capital or private capital or bank capital is to pay on time. That's it. You keep your investors paid, they'll keep giving you money. Not only that, they'll be like, can you spend more?
Yeah. Your business model is, on the finding deals side, is I'm going to do what I say I'm going to do, right? If I write the offer, that's what I'm going to do. Mm-hmm. On the investor side, on like capital partner side, it's I'm going to do what I say I'm going to do. And that's it. It's like basically you're saying, I know what my numbers are and I'm going to do what I say I'm going to do. And I've just consistently done that over time.
Yeah, and what I see, we talked about this a little bit earlier today. What I see a lot now with people just getting in the business or younger people getting in the business is it's so digitally like monitored, right? You're posting this and doing that. You're finding leads here or generating leads there. Almost all of it is no longer organic like us here, right? This is the forum, whatever, of where you'll develop relationships of, if this Paul is still in when Travis is still in 20 years from now, you guys will be able to trust each other if you've done a couple deals together and you followed through with what you did, right? What you said you would do. So it takes longer. It does. Everybody wants to just, get the leads and the money and transactionally get paid as fast as possible. But if you're deciding to be in this long term and you want to sit up here 25 years later, then take your time, do it right, and you'll reap the benefits.
Yeah. Okay, so back to real estate. Is there anything you don't do? What deals will you not look at?
None.
Look at everything?
Yeah, my box doesn't exist. Like, I know everybody says, find your box, whatever. I don't have one. My box is make the percentage that I know I need to make to pay the guys in my office, to make sure the girls are taken care of or wherever, and that's it. As long as that works, I don't care what other people make in the deal. I don't care if it's, 10,000 or 10 million. Now, there is the theory of you're going to work just as hard on a $10 million deal or less than you might on a $10,000 deal. Absolutely true. It is true. I've had $50,000 deals that were easy, and I've had $50,000 deals that were hard. And I've had $4 million deals, same. So, yes, there is a theory of why work on the smaller deals. And the reality is that they give you experience, first of all. Secondly, that small deal might be somebody that brings you a bigger deal later. So I don't really push away any deals.
Yeah.
I make my percentage. As long as that's covered, I'll take the deal in.
If you had to start over today in this market here in Charleston, where would you begin?
First of all, you guys are lucky. This is a pocket. Charleston is a wonderful market. It really is. Even in downturns in other areas, Charleston is a phenomenal market. So the first thing I would do is say, get that core group of people that you can rely on, that you trust and that are loyal, and go ahead and group them up. Because it's really difficult if you're at zero or whatever to get traction, right? Everybody wants to see that you're successful in order to attach to you. Mm-hmm. But you have to be careful with that. The one thing that I talked about earlier that is the truth, the most I learned, and it wasn't the most money I've ever made in my life, was when I had a really good mentor. Locking into that mentor, for somebody that wants to take the time, the energy, money, and effort to actually bring you along and teach you this game, this industry, it's a godsend. It truly is, because if I spend 5 hours a day with somebody that's learning from me, I could be out making my own money in that time, right? And the industry is not necessarily set up for that person to repay me for that years later. So loyalty is a gigantic thing that I feel like is being lost in the real estate industry. You find somebody that will mentor you, I'm telling you, hold on to them, stay with them the 20 years, whatever it is, because it's unsurmountable in terms of knowledge, money in the long run, all of it. You just can't learn online what you can from somebody that's been through it. Because if you've been in this industry 20 plus years, you've been through it. I don't care who you are. I don't care how much money you have.
Any advice on finding a mentor?
It's tough.
It is tough.
Yeah, I got lucky.
Yeah.
I did, and you might get lucky. But recognize the opportunity and seize it. Because the old adage of it might not knock on the door or whatever again. I was with my mentor for 5 years before he passed away. He was much older. He was 80 years old. But I tell you, if you find somebody that is willing to take the time, energy, and effort, do not discount that. There's a lot of people in this industry that because it's a transactional industry where you close a transaction, you get paid, right? So that's kind of the way we look at it. We look at it like, I closed that deal, where's my check? If you're in this for the long haul, which you should be if you're sitting here, if you walk out of here and you're like, you know what he said makes sense and I don't feel like I'm going to be here when I'm 45, then leave. Leave the industry. Because it'll just give you heartache as you're barely trying, right? The old adage of put as much in and it'll give you out, It's true, but you need the right mentorship. So yeah, you find that opportunity, latch on to them, because they'll teach you what you need to know to go.
Yeah.
There's a lot of people that don't recognize how long-term this industry is if you're going to be good at it. So I see a lot of arrogance. I see a lot of like entitlement. I see a lot of hands out to, hey, I walked that property once. Okay. I gave you 3 deals, last year kind of thing. If you get into a give and take thing and like you owe this, you owe that for your time and money, you'll be in a different place years from now in this industry. In my opinion, if you want to grow and you really want to get good at it, lock in with people that can be that circle, that loyal, that trust, and you guys learn and go together. But make sure there's somebody in there that's been whipped a couple times, because this industry will whip you.
Yeah. How can we as a community, how can we support you, Doug? You've given us so many really good nuggets here.
Honestly, there's not, again, a question that I'm a little uncomfortable with and don't know how to answer. Honestly, the way you can support me is to support the industry. Like, be better than your predecessors. And then the industry will grow. And as a result, we'll grow too. I will tell you, if the industry continues to go the way it is, and you don't devote the energy and effort that you need to make yourself valuable to your clients and to the other people around you, realtors will die off, because the internet will allow clients and people to feel like they're getting better service from the person in the mirror than they are you. You guys need to step up.
Doug, thank you so much. This has been awesome. Let's get a couple questions from the room.
What's one deal that seemed dead at first, but you were able to revive it creatively?
It's downtown. I originally wanted to put a restaurant in there. So his thing of restaurants and real estate, I'm a serial entrepreneur, so I've tried all kinds of crap. I've tried coal mining, tire recycling, golf bags. I've been involved in all kinds of investments and all kinds of possibilities. What I learned was that I'm good at restaurants and real estate. So I was going to put a restaurant in this property on Rutledge. I couldn't get it approved. I went in front of the city 4 times, and the community did not like it, didn't like the idea. It took me 2 years to go in front of the city 4 times to be turned down, which I'm not used to. So I kept trying, right? And then eventually I said, okay, I can't sell it now because I'm upside down, right? I've carried it for 2 years. I've done $50K in architectural work, whatever, right? Attorneys involved, all this stuff. What can I do? The original approvals for the property were for a convenience store, which I didn't want to do. I didn't want to do that. I wanted to do a wine gallery, like wine art gallery kind of thing, similar to what I did on 12 Line Street with City Lights Coffee. But again, I couldn't get it approved. And it wasn't because the city didn't want it, the community didn't want it. So I decided to make a convenience store out of it, which to me is very disheartening, but I have to recoup the investment, right? I can't just let it go and lose a couple $100,000. So I've got to recoup the investment from it. So that's a situation where what I wanted to have happen, I wasn't able to do it. And that's one I held on to that too long. So for me, if something is going south or going wrong, right, learn from it very quickly, make an adjustment, find a solution of what needs to be done to then make it a viable project. Not going to happen every time. So I lose as well. I just win more than I lose. You're going to have some losers, and at some point you got to look at it and you got to go, I got to cut bait. I got to sell this under whatever it may be. I've got one right now on the market that if it sells today for what I have it listed for, I'll lose $34,000. So there's this learning part in there. That goes back to the mentorship, because the money that somebody who might take you in and under their wing, whatever, the money that they'll lose trying to teach you and giving you the reins to go make these mistakes, because mistakes were made at that property from someone younger, it's expensive. You kind of take a look at it and you step back and you go, well, I mean, I just spent $100K in losses, you know, getting this person to learn the hard way, or to learn and they didn't, right? Because you got to allow mistakes to get there. We're not lipstick on the pig flippers. So I buy the crappiest of the crap because we rebuild it from the ground up. So like to me, yeah, there's always a solution.
The mentorship process, what does that even look like? Can you give us an example?
I was involved in the mentor-mentee program at the Citadel for a minute, where I was the mentor. And I'm still great friends with the one guy that ended up as my mentee. I got discouraged because I think it is very discouraging to devote all this energy and then not see, you know, the potential come from somebody. So I haven't done it again. My mentees are the people that work with me. They are, like the guy right there, Nick. Yeah, so I've known Nick for 6 years now, 7. I met him when he was 22. And he did a few deals for me as a realtor. And eventually I just said, why don't you come a little closer and learn more, and let's get a real estate company going together. And that's Cobblestone, actually. So I'm not involved in any programs anymore, but they exist. They do. And I would attach to one that is beneficial, not one where you're going to be delivering mail. All the way up until about maybe 3 years ago, I used to write a letter to Warren Buffett, handwritten. And I said, I will work for free for a year. Like, you give me whatever task you want. I'll wash your socks. Like, I will work for you for a year. He never responded. But I got lucky on my mentor. My mentor actually moved here from DC, and I'm from the DC, Baltimore area. He was needed a mortgage on a house downtown. This is circa 2006-ish. And I just happened to meet him because he came to me for the mortgage. And he was already 76, but he was Clinton's last appointee. He started the Panamanian Fund, which is now like a $160 billion fund. He started it in 1961. He was head of international finance for Greenberg Charg, you know, responsible for raising billions and billions of dollars. I spoke at his funeral, and there were 5 ex-presidents, 5 internationally. So I got really lucky. Now, the interesting thing is, everything that I learned from him in those big international deals, nothing to do with what I do now, like zero. The understanding that everybody in the room is important, the understanding that, like, it doesn't matter if it's 50,000 or 50 million, it matters to somebody, and the ability to negotiate, right? And just get the process of negotiating is what I learned the most from him. And really not to fear anything. I don't fear anything. Once I make the decision on investing, I'm in. And if I'm a penny in, I'm a dollar in. And that's a tough thing to do. It is.
How you first started doing this and how it turned out, buying brokerage companies, buying mortgage companies in 2008?
In 06, the mortgage industry and real estate was at an all-time peak, right? 07, 08, it was not. It was at the lowest that it's been, you know, since, well, really ever. Maybe the savings and loan crisis in the early 80s, you know, for the two of us that know it, maybe could compare. But so what happened was you had mortgage companies that now were going defunct, but they had people, right? There's nothing more valuable than people. So how do you, like, purchase the furniture, the FF&E of a mortgage company and end up with 15 people that are still trying to make a living? To me, that's a phenomenal deal. So I bought as many as I could. People are most certainly your, like, most valuable asset that you're going to grow with.
So are majority of the deals just coming from just pre-existing relationships?
If you call me, I mean, I'll make a decision in 3 minutes. I don't need to walk it. I don't need to see it. Most people that, like, first work with me, they don't believe it. You do a couple transactions, that's it. And I always tell people too, like, if you show the work ethic, right, and you devote to this industry and you learn as much as you can, the money will come. Like, it will take time, but the money will come. He doubled his in a year coming to work with me. Doubled it. And he was running 25 realtors somewhere. So, like, there's avenues, and you gotta put the effort in. Yeah, these things are wonderful. I don't do them anymore. I got talked into this one. Thank you. That was good. But they are wonderful for building your business, because if you look around right now, there might be somebody in here that 20 years from now, you guys are just trading properties, right? And ideas and concepts and projects because you've done so much together, like Travis and Paul. And the rest of everybody else, you'll probably never see again, right? After a year or 5 years or whatever it is. It's a cutthroat business too. I would implore you that instead of screwing the guy next to you, you try to team up with him, because if you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go far, go together.
What do you do to judge the market?
We actually had this discussion in our office, 4 years ago, 5 years ago. And I said, we're in a selling market. Sell everything. Like, it will turn, and then we'll move into long-term holds. The market will force you to do that if you're in it every day. If you're in it every day, that's your best gauge. Not what anybody else can tell you or what you're going to find online or the candlesticks theory or any of that stuff, right? You're involved in it every day locally. That's the best pulse that you could have on the market. First, you have to pre-plan a little bit when it comes to selling or buying and holding, right? So everyone knew we were in a selling market. So I sold, and now I'm holding more as well. So the market sometimes will force you into decisions that you may have not made before, but it goes back to that, like when she asked you, is there something that happened that you had to like kind of flip and turn the page and figure out how to make it work? You make it work as a rental. Again, if you're not in this whole investor, real estate, whatever thing for 20 plus years, then maybe it's not the right investment for you. But if you are, then you just turn it to a long-term hold, and you recoup your asset through time. It's part of your business model, though. When it's hot selling, sell. When it's cold selling, hold. Or you can go opposite. I buy when it's crappy. I want like a little downturn and everything else because it'll give me more buying power.
And where are you seeing things today? What are you seeing right now?
Well, again, Charleston's a pocket. I mean, I hate to say it, but like we're very fortunate where we are because it really is wonderful real estate, even still. Mm-hmm. I've got buddies that are in real estate all over the nation and world, actually. And Charleston's phenomenal. You want to stay in real estate? It's a good place for it.
You said you only do the Tri-County area.
Mm-hmm.
Area. Why have you decided not to like expand up the coast toward like Myrtle Beach or Greenport? Good markets, but
there's not any necessary reason that I would give you. At your age, I may look at expanding, but I'm going to go at this for they tell me I'm never going to quit, but I'm going to go at this for another 10-ish years hard. And for me, keeping that proximity is just easier. Yeah, I could keep my hands on it.
Awesome. Hey, Doug, thank you. Thanks for being here. So downstairs, we've got food, we've got drinks in the lounge, so please network with each other. You see the name tags, they represent different aspects of real estate. We got blue as newcomers. We have orange, which are seasoned investors. We have green, which is money. And we have red, which is agents, property managers, contractors, other service professionals. So please network downstairs. Next month, we've got a really awesome guest lined up. I can't wait to announce it next week. This guy, we're talking about the Burr method, buy and hold, has gone from 2 units to over 300 units in less than 4 years. And he's going to give us exactly what he did to get from the 2 units all the way up. So I'm super excited to have him as part of as our special guest. So we'll announce that next week. But Doug has agreed to stick around for a little bit.
Thanks for coming.
It's an honor.
Yeah. I didn't mean it that way.